July is Disability Pride Month. Disability Pride Month celebrates disabled people and disability culture, disabled people's contributions to society, promotes visibility, and commemorates the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as the ADA, which was signed July 26, 1990. The Americans with Disabilities Act is a civil rights law that prohibits discrimination based on disability and also requires employers to provide reasonable accommodations to employees and imposes accessibility requirements on public accommodations. But what is a disability? A disability is any condition of the body or mind that makes it more difficult for the person with the condition to do certain activities and interact with the world around them. Disabilities can affect anything such as vision, movement, thinking, remembering, learning, and more. They can also affect anyone at any time. Just because someone is born without a disability doesn't mean they can't become disabled later on. It's also important to note that not all disabilities are identifiable just by looking at a person, and many people have invisible disabilities, impairments you can't see like ADHD or diabetes. No disabled person is the same or has the same needs, even if two people have the same condition. Outside of the legal and medical definition, there's a cultural aspect to disability as well. Take glasses, for instance. They're a medical device that help correct vision impairments, but you probably wouldn't consider yourself or somebody you know disabled just because they wear glasses. And under the ADA, it's not considered as a disability either. But why? Part of the reason is because culturally, glasses are a widely accepted assistive technology, so much so that you can buy a cheap pair of reading glasses at a drugstore and can even wear a snazzy pair of specs as a fashion statement. Meanwhile, wheelchair users, people with cognitive processing disorders, and other disabilities still struggle to go to school, find employment, or even just visit historical sites because of the stigma around disabilities and the lack of proper accommodations. Judith Ellen Judy Heumann, known as the mother of the disability rights movement, once said, "Disability only becomes a tragedy when society fails to provide the thing we need to lead our lives. Job opportunities or barrier-free buildings, for example. It's not a tragedy to me that I'm living in a wheelchair." The truth and power of this quote was demonstrated by a group of activists on March 12, 1990, when over 1,000 people marched to the U.S. Capitol to demand that Congress pass the ADA. When they arrived, 60 of them cast aside their mobility aids and crawled up the Capitol steps to demonstrate how inaccessible architecture impacts people with disabilities from participating in everyday life, such as making your voice heard to your government. The Capitol crawl was just one part of a week of demonstrations. For example, the day after the crawl, 104 people were arrested inside the Capitol Rotunda. Today, the ADA has been brought in to further protect people with disabilities. Disability discrimination is still an issue in schools, jobs, and day-to-day life, but more and more disability activists are coming up to continue the work. To learn more about the history of the ADA, pick up the book, Enabling Acts, The Hidden Story of How the Americans with Disabilities Act Gave the Largest U.S. Minority Its Rights by Leonard J. Davis from the library today.